Hi, my name is Logan Lowery. Since I was in third grade, I actually started because my dad wanted me to do it. He did it his senior year of high school. My favorite part about wrestling is that it's a single person sport. I don't have to rely on anybody else on my team to win. I can walk out there, step on the mat, and get ready to rock by myself. That the friendships that you make, honestly, it's a single person sport, but it brings a lot of camaraderie. You meet a lot of different people. I am a two-time state qualifier, so I've been to Reno Worlds. I've been to Las Vegas for Olympic trials, and I've also been to state twice. My biggest tournament is at state every single year. At the end of the year, you go to regionals 2 weeks before state. You have to qualify in the top 4, and then you go to state, and that's like the hardest tournament. Everybody wants to win that one. If you win that one, you're a state champion. Changes your life, kind of.
Yeah.
I've wrestled out of state a few times. I've wrestled in Washington a few times, like twice in Washington. I've wrestled in Nevada and California. And Colorado, I forgot about that one. But I think my biggest challenge in wrestling is the mental battle before the match, honestly. Before you walk out there, you're just thinking about what you got to do to get the win, I guess. You got to think about your first point, your second point, how you're going to finish out the match, what gear you need to be in whenever you're in the third round, second round, first round. It's always a wild thing out there. Everything can go wild. You get tossed to your back in the third round. You never know. Over my high school wrestling, I've wrestled my freshman year, I wrestled at 126. My sophomore year, I wrestled at 132 and I qualified for state. And then my junior year, I didn't wrestle. And then my senior year, I wrestled at 138 and qualified for state. My sophomore year, I used to wrestle freestyle and Greco outside of folk style wrestling. And in Greco, I think I took 3rd at state. And in freestyle, I took 4th. At the state tournament my sophomore year, I saw 2 kids wrestling. One kid shot in for a low single, and his right leg, so if this was his knee like this, he shot in, hit the bottom of his leg right here, and his knee went all the way back like that, and his leg was just flopping, and he was just hanging. That was probably the worst thing that I've ever seen in wrestling. I've torn my meniscus too, so it is a gruesome sport. You can get hurt really easily. I would say, honestly, if you aren't used to wrestling, it'd probably be one of the hardest sports out there. It's definitely a mental battle every single day. It's one of the sports where it's not like, I would say like golf, you walk out there and you're just hitting balls. Like that's a mental battle too, but it's not as hard and rough, I guess, and physical. There's a lot of running, you sweat. Like last week for state, I had to cut 10 pounds. I was 150 and I had to drop to 140. It's probably one of the hardest things in the world to do. You're just sitting there in your bed, like pleading, like, let's go to bed because I'm starving and I have to wake up in the morning and go to wrestle. And then you wake up and your lips are chapped and stuff. You can't see anything. Your fucking hands are, oh God dang it, I guess. My hands get all white and your face gets all white. It's awful. Something that makes someone a good wrestler is you gotta be competitive and you just can't give up. That's probably my one thing. If you're able to just push and push and push and push and grind on yourself until you can't do anything anymore, until you fall on the ground and you can't walk, that makes a good wrestler. Yeah, wrestling is highly time consuming. I didn't even place at state, but I put so many hours into wrestling outside of my junior year, after I tore my meniscus, I took a whole year. I was a 3-sport athlete, and I took a whole year just to find out how to be better at wrestling because I cared about it that much. That was my kind of thing. I loved wrestling.